You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KNBR. And tonight, the Giants offense just didn't show up against the Houston Astros as they fall 3-1 at Oracle Park. Even the City Connect particles couldn't overcome Ronel Blanco and the Houston bullpen. Essentially, the big difference in this game was a swinging bunt that Matt Chapman couldn't handle down the third baseline, which allowed 2 runs to score for Houston. But the story of the day is the Giants continue to slump on offense. Just 3 hits today, and this offense is still searching for answers. We'll break it all down, but first I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate it, and make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. This game was a pitcher's duel through and through from start to finish, which isn't entirely unexpected. If you've paid attention to some Astros ball this year, which I don't fault you if you haven't, they're not a very good team this year. But Ronel Blanco, he's been a up and down seasons, but he's been pretty solid for the Astros overall this year. I mean, up and down career in his time with the Astros, but this year he has been really lights out. Through a no-hitter earlier this season against the Blue Jays on April 1st. So this guy has been doing it all season long, and he really held the Giants down tonight. Blanco went 6 innings, just 3 hits, 1 earned run, only 1 walk. Dude had 8 strikeouts. He's got a 2.67 ERA on the year and is now 6-2 with the win. And it wasn't really Jordan Hicks did everything he could do to match it. You know, Jordan Hicks was doing everything that he could, but some bad luck on the Giants' part and some bad defense as well. In the top of the third, Dubon hits a ground rule double on a ball that I think Michael Conforto could have caught. I really think he could have got on his horse and got over and at least made it a close play. I really do think he could have gotten there if he got a good read off the bat and got a good jump, but he didn't even break on the ball. He just let that ball float around up there, and I don't know if he thought it was going to go foul or if he just lost it in the sun. That's a very tough outfield angle. You got the sun coming in right at those outfielders. It's setting right behind the backstop at Oracle Park that time of day. So maybe he lost it in the sun. I'm not sure, but either way, that ball bounces just inside the foul territory marker, and it bounces over the wall for a ground rule double. The Astros don't even get a hit after that in the inning. Move Dubon around with some productive outs, and he ends up scoring. Astros take the early 1-0 lead. Then in the bottom of the third, Brett Wisley does it all by himself to get that 1 run back. He actually fakes a bunt on the first pitch and then goes ahead and hits one right over the right field wall. I mean, this guy, I love me some Brett Wisley, man. I've told you guys from the jump, I think that once Nick Ahmed and Marco Luciano and Brett Wisley are all healthy, I know this is going to really anger a lot of the fan base, but I think we're going to see Wisley stick with the big league club over Luciano. The best ability is availability, and that's what Wisley has more than Luciano. This guy can play a ton of different positions pretty effectively. Luciano doesn't seem like he's really got a defensive position that he can play well right now at the big league level. I mean, Luciano is without a doubt a better hitter than Brett Wisley, but Brett Wisley has been doing it with the bat this season. It's not like he's been atrocious or terrible at the plate by any stretch. Wisley on the year, his average is over 300. He's batting 304. His OPS 768. The little guy doesn't have the most pop in the world, but hey, I mean, he had another home run tonight, his second of the season so far. I like Brett Wisley. I do like the kid. He's got he runs well. He's got like that grit and grind, tough guy, not tough guy, but he's like a hard-nosed player. Like the guy just reminds me of like a FP Santangelo. If I can throw that name around. I mean, I love me some FP. What a good dude that guy is. I worked with him a little bit over at KNBR, and Brett Wisley kind of reminds me of him a little bit. A guy who can play every position out there on the field, even first base. The little guy going over playing first does not matter, but That's the only run the Giants were able to muster in this one. The rest of the offense today, absolutely putrid, just nothing. They could not get anything going at all. In the 5th inning, the play that we alluded to earlier at the top of the show, Astros get runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs and a slow roller to Matt Chapman. He had a play on it, but it was very tough. That Bregman slow roller down the line, he barehanded it and tried to make the throw, but the throw sailed to the side of Wilmer Flores, goes all the way towards the Houston dugout. A 2-run score on the play, ruled an infield hit, not an error on Matt Chapman. Astros go up 3-1. And that was it, man. The Giants offense, the rest of this game could not do anything. I mean, at one point in time, they had 10 consecutive batters retired. Excuse me. This offense was putrid. The only other extra base hit was a Pat Bailey double in the 8th inning. Not the 8th inning, excuse me, but Pat Bailey did double earlier in this game. I believe that was 6th or 7th inning, and the Giants really couldn't do anything else. That was the only time the Giants really got a runner in scoring position late in this game. And they couldn't get a hit off of any of the 3 Houston relievers they saw after Blanco exited. And that's not really much of a surprise. The Houston bullpen has been very, very good this season, especially since May. Since May 1st, they're the number 1 ERA in all of baseball bullpen-wise. They've been rock solid so far this season. And in the back end of that bullpen, I mean, Presley is very impressive. He hasn't had a ton of opportunities this year. The Astros, very surprising to me that they're not better record-wise. I'm assuming this team will turn it on at some point this season and get a lot better. From the wins and losses perspective, just 31-37 on the season for Houston. With the loss, the Giants fall to 33-35. Man, we had a chance to get back to 500. Couldn't do it. It's the never-ending climb to 500 for the San Francisco Giants this year. Even the City Connects couldn't make it happen for the Giants. It's a tough go for them right now. And the Giants end up falling. Like I said, those 2 runs were the difference. Giants fall 3-1. This game was pretty uneventful. Giants only collected 3 hits. The Astros had 7. The Giants, they 0-for-1 with runners in scoring position because no one really got there. And they left 4 runners on base in this one, 8 strikeouts. They only drew 2 walks. So base runners at a premium for this Giants team. Really tough loss for the Giants, as you were hoping. I was hoping, and we all were hoping, that the Giants would clinch this series win over a team that is sub 500 and that they would finally get back to 500 themselves with the win tonight. We'll see how they fare in the rubber match tomorrow. The rubber match has been favoring the Giants this year. They've been pretty good in these instances so far on the season, but they're gonna need some hits, man. They're really gonna need some hits. They are 5-1 in rubber matches this year, so pretty solid when they need that 3rd win to close out the series. But you need offense. You need some answers offensively, and right now there really aren't a lot of answers, and everyone's seeming to cool off. Conforto, another 0-for-4 with 2 strikeouts. Chapman 0-for-4 with 2 strikeouts. It's not. I mean, Soler. What are we going to say about Jorge Soler, man? This guy, we thought the yellow shoes might make a difference. It's apparently not doing anything for the guy, as he still looks completely lost at the plate. He starts to show some signs. I mean, he shortened up that swing. The path to the ball was a lot quicker on that swing that Soler adjusted, earlier this season. That hasn't really started to pay off for him yet. He's showing a little more plate discipline. He's not chasing balls outside of the zone nearly as much anymore as he was. But the Giants are really struggling to find any answers offensively. Michael Conforto slumping the way he is. Lamont Wade Jr. being out. Jung-Hoo Lee, obviously, they still are missing that guy. Essentially, if Ramos doesn't will this team to victory and Matt Chapman doesn't have more extra base hits and continue to get on every single game, the Giants are just they don't have a lot going offensively. You need someone new to step up every night. Tonight, nobody did. You had one guy, Brett Wisley, contribute anything really meaningful, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough as the Giants fall 3-1 against the Houston Astros. I keep wanting to say Houston Rockets, man. This isn't the Locked On Warriors postcast. This is the Locked On Giants postcast. 3-1 loss to the Houston Astros at Oracle Park. Again, the City Connect vibes just weren't enough. And although the Giants have, as we all know, made a living out of winning games in these City Connect unis, They're 27-11 all time coming into this one since 2021 with the City Connects. They're now 27-12 on the season. We got to take a quick break. I'm gonna go try and get some water. My voice is like on life support right now. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Got to break down more from this one. Jordan Hicks and his day on the other side. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. Sorry, had to take a quick break to refresh the vocal cords, man. They were struggling there pretty bad. So today's show is brought to you by Ibotta. Spring is here, so it's out with the old and in with the new. But don't splurge on anything new without getting cash back in return when you use Ibotta. Ibotta is a free app that gives you the most cash back every time you shop on hundreds of items, from grocery stores to beauty supplies to toys. Anything you buy, basically, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, that flight you've been eyeing, or maybe that fancy dinner you've been craving. If you know me, you know I love me a fancy dinner. Other apps give you points that don't amount to much. With Ibotta, just add your offers in the app, upload your receipt, and you get real cash that you can cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Join the over 50 million users and earn cash back every time you shop from over 2,700 brands and retailers, including all your favorite grocery stores, Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and so much more. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta by using code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app to start earning cash back and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store and use code LOCKEDONMLB. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections for a chance to win 100 times your money. Baseball season is officially underway, and there's no better way to cash in on the action than PrizePicks. Add your favorite players from the diamond to your PrizePicks lineups all season long. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick of more or less and add them to your PrizePicks lineup today. You can now win up to 100 times your money with baseball-only lineups on PrizePicks. If you submit a winning lineup featuring 4 demon squares, you'll cash in big time on the biggest moments of baseball's early season. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the PrizePicks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. It's PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants fall 3-1 to the Houston Astros. And I mean, man, it was a tough day out there for the offense, but pitching wise, Hicks had an okay night. I mean, it's the same thing every night with these Giants starters. We want them to pitch a little bit longer, but it's not like they're terrible out there on the mound. I mean, 3 runs over 4 2/3 is not really what you want to see from Jordan Hicks, but it's not. Those 2 of those 3 runs were scored on that swinging bunt. He was doing his thing up there. He had 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk. He did give up 5 hits over the 4 2/3. The ERA does jump up over 3. It was below 3 when this day started at 2.82. It's now up to 3.01. Jordan Hicks is just doing the damn thing on the hill as he has been all season long. And it's a bummer the Giants couldn't come out there and get him a win today. I mean, he didn't last the 5 innings he would have needed to get the win, but it was another typical Jordan Hicks performance. He threw 72 pitches, only 48 strikes. He wasn't living in the zone as much as he normally does, but did get 6 groundouts in those 4 2/3 innings. He's been a ground ball machine out there on the hill, and he did more of what he's been of what we've been seeing from him this season. All year long, he's been doing it. The ground ball rate at 53.6% before this game started. Top 10% in baseball, this guy. is fits in very well with the rest of the Giants pitching staff that does a lot of the same things. Logan Webb, obviously, Keaton Wynn when he's right, his ground ball numbers look very similar. Sean Jelly also out of the bullpen gets a very, very, very good number of ground balls. We saw Sean Jelly on the hill tonight doing that for the Giants, getting those ground ball outs. He got 2 of them, in fact, in his 1 inning or his 2 innings that he pitched. Sean Jelly and the rest of the Giants bullpen also, we should say, did pitch pretty well. The Giants bullpen only gave up 2 hits. They had a combined 5 strikeouts in their 4 1/3 innings pitched. Taylor Rogers, Sean Jelly, and Luke Jackson all got a chance on the hill today. Luke Jackson, I don't think anybody really wants to see him out there on the hill for the Giants, but for what it's worth, he did have a decent outing tonight. He did give up that 1 hit, but he had 1 strikeout, and that's a lot better than he's been lately. So, I mean, I think in a game like today, you burn the bottom of the bullpen, and you hope for better days tomorrow. You hope that with the Giants going 5-1 in rubber matches, that they'll have a solid chance at picking up a win tomorrow at Oracle Park as they close out this 3-game set against the Astros. And the Giants need to win the series, man. Tomorrow, it's not a must win. We are not in like must win territory for a team that is middling around 500 when we're in June. But a win like this, these are games that you have to win if you're going to be in contention for a playoff spot, even a wild card spot towards the end of the season. The Giants cannot lose tomorrow. If they want to be a team that actually pushes for a playoff spot, you gotta win series, man, especially against teams sub 500. The Giants have a very nice stretch right now where they don't really play a good team until they play the Dodgers. They don't play a team above 500 until the end of this month when they play the Dodgers again. And it's going to be tough for the Giants if they keep playing like this offensively to actually beat these teams that are sub 500. They really need to start supporting some of their guys like Jordan Hicks, and Hicks, he was pretty good tonight, man. Like those 5 strikeouts, he had the splitter going. Guys were struggling to hit that pitch as they usually do. Obviously it's been his best pitch of the entire season. And Hicks has just been, getting some bad luck lately. He has not had very much run support for the Giants, from the Giants offense. Today with the splitter, he got 6 swings, 4 swing and misses. That's a 67% whiff rate. That's pretty good for Jordan Hicks. He's been doing it all season long, man. And the Giants need to start getting some damn runs to support these starting pitchers. And the one thing that the Giants can start helping themselves out with, and we've been saying this a lot, but starting pitchers need to start pitching deeper into games. Jordan Hicks only lasting 4 2/3, only 70 something pitches. I do think some of this is on Bob Melvin for taking his guys out. He's had such a quick leash with some of these guys. And I think you got to start letting them work out of it. Yes, I know Kyle Harrison is a young guy and they want to keep his pitch count down. Yes, I know Jordan Hicks is a reliever turned starter and they're trying to stretch him out still and let him turn into an innings eater. But you can't have one starting pitcher on your roster that's capable of pitching into the 7th inning. It's inexcusable that Logan Webb is the only guy on this team that gets outs past the 6th as a starting pitcher. Someone needs to step up. I think Bob Melvin also needs to give these guys a little bit more runway to continue to get outs. To work out of jams, to not be so quick with the yank. The bullpen has been pretty good lately, but I think that's going to come back to bite the Giants a little bit later. You have this bullpen that's, they've pitched like, I think the third most innings in Major League Baseball this season. If I'm correct, the bullpen has just been, used like every game. They're pitching 4-5 innings. It seems like with the starting pitchers coming out so early recently, it's been a lot of work placed on these guys' shoulders. And I really do think it's going to end up hurting the Giants as they try and make a push for the playoffs. So the dog days of summer start to roll around for Major League Baseball. Doesn't get any easier for starting pitchers to pitch deeper in games. The one thing the Giants have going for them is guys coming back from the injured list. Bob Melvin did talk a little bit about Alex Cobb. Oh my God, we finally had an Alex Cobb sighting. We're going to take a quick break, and on the other side, we're going to talk about what Bob Melvin said about Alex Cobb and a few other things as well to wrap this game up and the show up on the other side of the Locked On Giants postcast. Stick with us. I'm Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Had to refresh the vocal cords again real quick, but today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Summertime means baseball, the NBA Finals, and more, and you can bet it all on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet on everything from the Finals MVP to who's going to hit one out of the park. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and add a big win to your summer bucket list. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. Today, the Astros beat the Giants out at Oracle Park 3-1. The City Connect Magic, the City Connect Particles couldn't bring home the win for the Giants, despite Jordan Hicks pitching pretty well, even though he couldn't get out of the fifth inning. And but this Giants offense, man, just absolutely putrid. And it needs to come from somewhere. Help needs to come from somewhere. Soler has been so bad. Michael Conforto has been so bad since he came back from injury. And you can't have Austin Slater be the hero every single night. I don't think that's going to work out very well for the Giants. The one thing that they can kind of look forward to is that they're going to be getting some pitching help, which when you're losing games 3-1, you kind of wish you were getting hitting help instead. However, the Giants, that doesn't seem like it's going to be coming down the pipe anytime soon. But they do have some reinforcements coming back. Alex Cobb did throw a bullpen session, and Bob Melvin said he looked pretty good. He let the shoulder rip, was letting his full velocity fly, and according to Bob Melvin, he looked pretty decent out there. So the Giants, they're on track with getting some of these guys back soon. Alex Cobb, Tristan Beck still working through his shoulder injury. Nick Ahmed is beginning a rehab assignment. He played today out in AAA Sacramento, or with AAA Sacramento out in Reno, Nevada, against the Diamondbacks minor league affiliate out there, the Aces, and it's going to be tough though. I mean, Lamont Wade Jr. is really the #1 name that we want to have back in this lineup. He did take some ground balls yesterday and is going to progress to doing some hitting on the field. He did a little bit of that today, but the one thing that he's still not doing is running. And that's the main issue with the left hamstring strain. With any hammy issue, you know that if you've had them before, they just nag and nag and nag, and you feel like it's done, and you go out there and you try and jog or cut, and it immediately you feel that pull again. So running is really going to be the big issue in lateral movements for Lamont Wade Jr. They need him back so bad right now, though. I can't think of a player that the Giants that would be better for the Giants to get back than Lamont Wade Jr. I mean, I know a lot of people have talked about making a trade in the last couple of days, and I would love to see that too, but I don't think you're really in a position to move too many guys right now. I mean, you would have to put everybody on the table. I mean, there would have to be, I think if the Giants are going to make a move to get a big name back, like a big name bat that would impact this lineup, you're going to have to move a guy like a Kyle Harrison. If you're going to get something back that is worth it, you're going to have to move a big name. And I don't know if the Giants are ready to do that right now. It would be an impossible decision, I think, if you're sitting there choosing Kyle Harrison, team control for the future, or if you were to trade him for it would have to be a team controlled bat for at least a couple more years. But if this Giants team so desperately needs a big bat in the middle of the lineup, as they have needed for years and years and years and years, and I would like to see them go out and get somebody at the trade deadline, make a move that's bigger than what they did last year when they went out and got AJ Pollock. Or it doesn't even need to be at the trade deadline, but soon. I mean, around the All-Star break, I want to see the Giants be aggressive and go out and get somebody and kind of send a statement that they're trying, that they want to win. I'm not saying sell the farm for a win now kind of move, because this team isn't really ready to win right now. I think they're still a year or two away to really be able to compete in the postseason. But this team's got to do something. You can't keep middling around with this same assortment of just mediocrity on the offensive side of things. I mean, Ramos has been a revelation. Without Ramos, if he doesn't come up and just absolutely set the world on fire, this team looks pretty putrid. I mean, there's nothing really going for them. Pat Bailey's had an up and down season. He's been down. He did have the double today, but hasn't been hitting very well as of late. And Matt Chapman cooling off a little bit today. He went over 4 with 2 strikeouts. Michael Conforto has been pretty bad for the Giants since he got back from his injury. He was pretty hot at the beginning of the season. Wilmer Flores obviously is not going to be Lamont Wade Jr. at the dish, and Jorge Soler has been exceptionally disappointing for the Giants. I mean, just terrible. Really, I mean, there's no two ways about it at this point. We are getting to the middle of June, and this guy is still batting around 200, and just, I mean, the OPS is 642. It's one of the lowest of any Giant. I mean, Wilmer Flores is the only one with a lower OPS of anybody who started today at 636, and he's not an everyday player. So obviously it takes a little bit for Wilmer to get into the swing of things. Soler's been playing every day. He's had plenty of chances. He can't seem to get right in the box at all, and it's really hurt the Giants. This entire offense has been so bad, man, and without Lamont Wade Jr., they struggle really terribly in games like this. When you face good quality pitching, I don't know. I mean, the Giants' only way to beat a team like this in a game like this is limit the other team to like 1 or shut them out, because this offense is not scoring more than a couple runs. 3 hits is not going to win you many baseball games at all. I don't care what the other side of the diamond looks like. I mean, and in this case, it's a pretty dang good lineup, although they've been not as good as they have been in years past. But I mean, any lineup with Alvarez, Altuve, Bregman, Pena's pretty dang good. Dubon's having a nice year. All these guys can hit, and you're going to need to be able to compete with that. And in today's baseball landscape, there's a lot of teams that can hit. The Giants seem to be one of the few teams that still consistently really struggle to manufacture runs. I mean, baseball as a whole tried to make offense easier for teams by making those bases a little bit bigger, things like that. And the Giants, I mean, can't capitalize at all. I mean, one of the worst base stealing teams in all of baseball since they made that change. And they're, when you can't hit, you got to find other ways to score. That means stealing bases. That means bunting. That means manufacturing runs, taking walks. Giants aren't doing any of that, man. I mean, there needs to be something that they do differently, whether it's a change in philosophy, change in approach, going out and adding a bat. Like, something needs to change, because as we just talked about, you're not getting a ton of reinforcements. Blake Snell still a while away. He was throwing off flat ground and plans to progress to throwing off the mound later in this week. But that's another pitcher. I mean, it would be great if Blake Snell comes back and can actually contribute something to this team. Don't get me wrong. I think we all really want that. But I mean, Nick Ahmed, when he comes back, it's not like he's going to light the world on fire offensively. That's not what that guy does. Lamont Wade Jr. is the only thing coming back. And that is a big thing. Don't get me wrong. He was on pace to be the Giants All-Star this season. He really makes a difference when he is in this lineup, makes it look a lot better. But that's not going to be enough. Just Lamont Wade Jr., I don't think that does it, man. I think the Giants really need to add a bat sometime in this summer before the trade deadline gets here, and make a statement that they're willing to play ball, that they're willing to try and make a competitive team, that they want this offense to actually compete. Yes, we know this pitching staff is really good. Yes, we keep hearing about Carson Whisenhunt and how he's coming. I really like the prospects, but I would rather see a big bat in the middle of this lineup than keep hearing about all these prospects that we might get sometime soon, that might pop for the Giants, that might be effective for this team going forward. How long have we been told Marco Luciano is coming, is close? Reggie Crawford's been on the 40 man for like 3 seasons now. We got to see some return soon, eventually. I mean, I favor the proven product over the potential. Personally, I would rather see a proven guy. I would rather go get like a Pete Alonso and put him in the middle of this order than keep hearing about what Carson Whisenhunt might be able to do. And Carson Whisenhunt might be a perennial all-star. He very well could be that. But this Giants team, this front office, needs to do something, because they look lifeless. They look boring. And that's one thing that you can't be if you're bad, is boring. If you are boring, if you don't have a direction, it's hard to watch, man. And that's where we're at with this Giants team right now. I don't know what their direction is. I mean, we keep saying the youth movement, we keep talking about these young kids, and then they send down Matos for Austin Slater. I think we all know what Austin Slater does, and we all want to see Matos progress, but the Giants need to start doing something differently because, I mean, do any of these things. We've thrown out a ton of suggestions in the last 10 minutes about how this offense can change, get more competitive, get better, grind out at bats, and manufacture ways to win, manufacture some runs. But the one thing that will make the biggest difference is going out, being aggressive, and getting a big bat to put in the middle of this lineup. And I think it's time, man. It's been a while since the Giants have really made an impact move. Yeah, they went out and got Chris Bryant a couple seasons ago, but he wasn't like a team controlled bat for a while, like for years to come, and I think that's the move that they need to look to make. Go out and get a bat that you can control for at least into next season and hopefully the year after, and pull the trigger, man. Make a trade, give up some of those prospects and get something back that will contribute to this offense right now. Giants need it. This offense is on life support. And again, 3 hits is not going to win you many games. The Giants fall 3-1 to the Houston Astros today at Oracle Park. And it wasn't very close. I mean, the Giants offense couldn't muster anything, couldn't get any streaks going on offense at all. I mean, the Brett Wisley home run was the one bright spot on offense. Giants only strand 1 runner in scoring position because they only had 1 runner in scoring position all game long. We'll see if they can win the rubber match. They're 5-1 in rubber matches on the season. As we said earlier, they'll take on the Astros in the final game of this 3-game set tomorrow, 12:45, first pitch out at Oracle Park. That's about all the time that we got for you guys today. That's about all the juice in my voice, man. I'm so sorry, guys. I was on vacation and screaming and from hanging out with my friends at the bachelor party, and then came back, was sick, and now I'm just trying to battle through it, man. My voice, I don't know what to do, man. Maybe I need to go get some tea or something, but this water isn't cutting it. So it's about all I got left in me for you guys today. Appreciate you sticking through the Locked On Giants postcast, raspy voice and all. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. I'll go try to find some tea before our show tomorrow after Giants wrap up with the Astros, 12:45 first pitch out at Oracle Park. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.